Hey, what's going on, guys? Nem here. How's it going? So today, Bungie released their blog update on Destiny 2, the development update. And today we're going to do things a little bit different. Instead of just being myself reading the blog post for about 40 minutes, I discussed it with my friend live as we went through it. So it's a little bit different, a little bit new. Let me know if you guys enjoy. Let me also know if you guys agree with some of the things that they're doing on the comment section below. It's always interesting to know what you guys think. The more, player feedback, the better. But that's it. Enjoy. See you in the next one.
Yeah, not a whole lot in the twab.
All right, cool. Yeah, I figured, the one we are going to be looking forward to. It's the development update.
Oh yeah, and they gave us a lot to look forward to.
Oh, they gave a lot more than I was expecting, to be completely honest with you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Starting off with a Eververse.
Yeah, the
that
big
was,
one.
that was bold of them, but also I think what a lot of people were clamoring to see the most in a way.
Yeah, and I like some of the changes. The changes that they're doing to the Eververse is definitely something I can get on board with. So I like that they're shifting, like the ghosts, sparrows, and ships to be, part of a reward pool, instead of just direct, Eververse stuff. I think that's a big thing that even with Curse of Osiris, you have like an Osiris ship and sparrow that's tied to Eververse and not like the campaign or something.
Absolutely. Like, how on earth did Tess Everest end up with the gray pigeon?
I
Saint
think,
14
yeah,
ship.
that's Scene 14's like, there's a mission about that, please. That should have been like a reward from completing that too. Like, come on.
Should have been a no-brainer, but
Yeah.
I appreciate that they admit that, what did they say exactly? We recognize the scales are tipped too far towards Tess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Painfully obvious to everyone, but, kudos to them for admitting it as best they could.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious about what they mean exactly when they say, quote, "We'll provide a gameplay path to earn bright engrams and all contained rewards, including event engrams." End quote.
Yeah. That's an
So it's like,
interesting
I'm
one.
all for the ability to earn more rewards.
Probably through milestones, maybe.
That would make sense. I wonder if it's going to be tied to specific milestones,
Yeah.
or if milestones will just reward you bright engrams in additional to powerful engrams.
Right. Well, if we go down a little bit further, it says that players will earn double engrams at level up, which is cool. I mean, this is something that I thought it would have been ideal to bring in during the dawning.
Absolutely.
Which is players would earn double engrams at level up, one crimson engram and one illuminated engram for the duration of the event. And here's another biggie. Crimson engrams can also drop from completing Crimson Days match and from completing the Crimson Days milestone. So there is a milestone tied to Crimson Days on each character. So it's not account based. It's not something that you do once. It'll be on each character. Again, something that I would have liked to see during the dawning, being able to earn dawning engrams by playing Mayhem, because Mayhem was tied to that event.
Absolutely. Just another thing that seems obvious to most everyone who played, but not Bungie at the time for whatever reason.
Completing Nightfall raids and Crimson Days milestone during Crimson Days will reward you an exclusive legendary emote, weapon skin, and exotic sparrow, respectively, which I like that. That's pretty neat. It gives me a reason to do the Nightfall, to be completely honest with you, because I haven't really touched the Nightfall in like a while.
Exactly. With as many paths as they've given us to earn additional powerful engrams.
Yeah.
As tedious as the Nightfall can be, especially with the timer.
Yes. The timer, like, I don't mind so much the timer, but like, at least like I wish the timer was kind of like the timer was in D1, where it doesn't kick you from it, but you know the sunrise bounty is tied to the timer.
I never really had a problem with the timer. I had a problem with the timer every single week.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, so let's
Had just a little bit more variety on that one.
yeah.
But, you know, back to what you were saying regarding the legendary emote weapon skin exotic sparrows, that ties directly back to what they've already promised with Eververse. It seems like going forward, overall, they're going to be focusing on actual rewards rather than just another means of gaining experience for random legendary garbage.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like right now, like I was talking to somebody on Twitter and about, you know, like I have no reason to go on Destiny and even do my milestones because I'm dismantling like literally everything that it drops. So it's kind of like, wow, no need, no need for that.
Once you find those weapons and pieces of armor you really like, what's the point of using anything else?
Yeah. So next biggie, January 30th, we're getting an update. And the following update will be available to all D2 players regardless of expansion ownership, which should be the norm. Masterwork armor. So they're expanding the Masterwork system to include armor. The Masterwork armor provides increased damage reduction while using your super.
And I find it a little odd that that is apparently all it does. It seems a little half-baked. Maybe they were just rushing to get something out to tide people over, which, you know, admittedly I would understand, but I don't feel Masterwork armor
is a super necessity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because especially it's like
grind for, but even like the few little extra stat points you get on the Masterwork weapons can make a pretty significant difference in the end of like the top tier players.
Yeah. Yeah. For, you know, the ones that want to like make sure that their loadouts are like truly optimized.
Exactly. But if every single piece of armor is just going to give you additional damage reduction while using your super, admittedly, once you get a full set of Masterwork armor going, that does have the potential for being rather silly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have to see too, you know, at what how much of a difference it's actually going to make. Because I mean, there's a few exotics in D1 that granted you extra armor when you were doing your super, and ultimately it didn't do much. So I'm hoping there's at least a significant difference with the Masterwork armor. Again, but yeah, I think, as you mentioned, I think the Masterworks overall right now are kind of half-baked. I think that it's something that moving forward we're most definitely going to see a change to.
Fingers crossed.
Hoping for that. So as far as
something,
okay.
So, once again, back to the Masterwork armor, something they said that we hadn't touched on yet. You can re-roll the armor stat type on Masterwork armor, and similar to Masterwork weapons, you can blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Re-roll the armor stat type on Masterwork armor. I don't know if they are referring to the selectable perks that are already on each piece of armor or the actual type of armor it is, whether it influences recovery, mobility, or resilience.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Fingers crossed for the latter.
Yeah.
I'd love to see slightly more randomized rolls on gear across the board.
I agree. And I feel like that's something that we're going to see a lot more with the mod system. So looking forward a little bit more, they mentioned the raid reward rework They're updating the raid rewards to make them more unique and interesting. They will now feature mods with raid-specific perks. Hey, back to D1. And we're adjusting the rewards to ensure a raid item drops from each major encounter. Hey, back to D1.
Back to D1.
The raid vendor will also directly, this is a big one, the raid vendor will also directly sell Leviathan and Eater of Worlds armor and weapons for purchase with raid tokens and legendary shards.
People have been asking for a token system in Destiny for a long time, back to the Vault of Glass era, when you just never could get that goddamn helmet to drop after 30 runs. That's where people started really asking for the token system to come into play.
Yeah.
However, I feel like whoever listened to that feedback severely misunderstood exactly what people meant. They didn't mean we wanted tokens instead of gear, which then you could turn into get gear.
Yeah.
They meant they wanted tokens along with gear. And after 30 attempts doing the raid, if you still don't have that piece of armor you've been lusting after, turn in the tokens.
Yeah.
You can trade for it just like their new proposed system.
Yeah.
So, about 4 years late on that regard, but a very welcome addition.
It is, and I remember clamoring back when, again, Vault of Glass time. It's like, I have 30 Ascendant shards that I have no use for. Please let me use this to get gear. So yeah, I mean, it's cool. The only thing that I'm curious as, ultimately, I feel like it may hinder some of the grind again, unless they reduce the amount of tokens that you get during the runs. Because I mean, so now you're getting a raid item drop from each major encounter. You're getting tokens, and now you're gonna have the ability to buy armor directly from the vendor. Which again, it's probably gonna be to the point where like they're really gonna have to make the prestige raid, like the rewards for that, something really unique. Because I feel like once you get the full set of the gear through the vendor, what is your reasoning to keep raiding for?
Fun.
Friend game. The friend game. So again,
you can only do the exact same encounters so often.
Yeah.
Once you have everything you need.
Yeah, I mean, and again,
you're sick of it.
Again, I'm hoping that the prestige stuff will truly be unique, and that you still have to like run the raid instead of using tokens for that. Because I mean, again, I'm fine with like being able to buy the armor at least for like the regular stuff. But like again, once you run the raid, like maybe 3-4 times, you have enough tokens to buy everything. And even at that, you're probably gonna get drops, from the raid itself. So. Long term, I'm looking at a long term thing here. I'm hoping that like
hopefully they can find some sort of compromise where maybe he's only selling
like one
piece a week, but it is also on a set rotation, so you don't have to rely on RNG. If like we know the schedule in advance or have some means of figuring out the schedule in advance, I think that could do a lot to assuage the people with that concern. How, you're not really earning it at this point. And also expanding, the ability to purchase all of these items to people who don't necessarily have the time to do that raiding every week.
Yeah.
Or, for that matter, people to raid with, seeing as how greatly everyone's clans seem to have been diminishing.
Yeah. That's true. That's a biggie right there. So moving on forward, February update. Strike scoring. Back to D1.
I'm noticing a trend here.
Yeah, so strike scoring is coming to Nightfall and replacing the current time limit mechanic.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. The scoring is similar to the Destiny 1 system, but with adjustments to emphasize competitive execution of strike objectives and support for player selectable score modifiers. In February, Nightfall high scores will be exposed in-game via new emblems and will unlock rewards. We also have plans for clan and community high scores in the works. I like that. That's really cool. That's really, really neat. I'm hoping that the strike scoring is not only applied to the Nightfall and to like the regular like heroic strikes as well.
Here's hoping, because once again, a feature that feels half baked in Destiny 2, heroic strikes.
Yeah. What is the point of heroic strikes? They hit you harder.
Yeah.
And that's it. So that this next part, pretty excited. Again, this is something that we kind of mentioned about earlier on. Mods 2.0. Work is underway on a full rework of the armor and weapon mods. This will focus on reducing redundant mods and more unique theming and greatly increasing their impact on your power. They're aiming for a February release, but the scope of the rework could push parts or all of it out to early spring. They're going to be evaluating how mods play into the bright engram economy as a result, because we're sensitive to pay-to-win outcomes. Like that. Again,
I'm glad that's something they had the forethought to bring up in this discussion.
Yeah, and I mean, we were talking about this earlier on before we were doing this, that I didn't really feel too much of a difference with the mods, so I'm glad that they're looking at making them more impactful, and they're looking ahead on how they're going to play into the bright engrams, because they do drop from them as well. So that's really neat. I like that they're already looking ahead at that.
Exactly. So far, mods, weapon mods, armor mods in general have definitely felt like something that makes a lot more sense on paper.
Yeah.
But in actuality, they're just not impactful enough on actual gameplay. Not to mention, legendary mods are taking up 52 slots in my vault as we speak. That's not even including any of the rare quality mods that I have sitting in my inventory.
Delete them.
So any sort of consolidation and reducing redundant mods, greatly appreciated.
Yeah, that's a big welcome. I mean, yeah, like I mentioned before, like I usually just delete the shit that I don't need, or like the stuff that I only have one of and I know that I'm never going to use. I just get rid of that mess right away. But all right, moving forward a little bit more, we got quick play improvements, PC tower chat, exotic repetition reduction. I have a good friend that has been trying to get the Graviton Forfeit for quite a bit now, and Gemini Gestures and Shinobu's Vow tends to be a thematic return to that.
That poor soul.
Yeah. Fire team members on destination maps.
No, I didn't even catch that on my first read through.
Yeah, this is really cool. You will finally be able to see the other members of your fire team on the destination map. No more having to ask your fire team where they went when they fast travel to another landing zone. I think that's really cool. That's a really neat addition, because every time I'm like fire teamed up with somebody, it's like, oh, where'd you go? I'm like, oh, sorry. I'm like,
sorry, I'm in. Give me a second while I open up my own map to find out the name of the place I'm currently standing in. 15 minutes later, I am 15 feet away from you. There we go.
That's really, really cool. Going
PC
on
tower chat, I am very enthusiastic about that.
That's true. There's none of that.
Not sure why it didn't ship with the game to begin with.
Well,
however, I mean, that's going to be some of the closest thing to actual in-game matchmaking as we're going to get for a while.
In-game LFG. That's really cool. I like that. Let's see.
Here's hoping they find a way to implement that for anyone stuck playing on a console still.
Yeah. So that's going to be rough on them. I mean, hey, I'm moving to PC, so it don't matter to me anymore, bro.
You made the right choice.
Moving ahead, way ahead into the year, spring 2018. This is going to be a big one for the Crucible players.
Ooh, absolutely.
Yeah, so this is a big one, and this is something that a lot of people didn't think that was going to be coming to Destiny 2 Fallout. Just calling out. Crucible rank. So beginning of Season 3, they're going to introduce seasonal Crucible ranks. They're going to be 2 different ranks per players to pursue, One of them is Valor, which is a progression rank that goes up as you complete matches. Winning helps you move up faster, but there are no loss penalties. And Glory, a progression rank that goes up when you win and down when you lose. Performance is how you move up from there. So that's really cool. And the Glory is definitely going to be the one that a lot of the PvP community is going to be chasing after. I'm most likely.
I'm a little torn on the matter.
Oh, do tell.
As I was reading, Valor sounded very appealing, sounded great. I love that they're adding some form of rank. Glory, on the other hand, I already know how terrible I am. Other people don't need to know at a glance. Feels a little unnecessary to me, but here we are.
That's true. I mean, I guess it depends on the emblem, because it looks like they're all using a particular emblem that displays their rank. So maybe if the
Yeah, but at the same time, if you're doing some PvP and there's that one guy on your fire team using the Valor emblem, what does that tell you?
I'm sorry for you. You're going to have to do some hardcore carrying.
Oh, yeah.
Let's face it, I'm going to be the noob with the Valor. All right, next biggie, private matches.
Welcome back to D1, everyone.
D1, everybody. Private matches are coming to all players of Destiny 2. Players will be able to invite their friends to play on the map in mode of their choosing. Cool. You know, dig it. I wish this would have been there from the start, but fucking better late than
better
never.
Luck with D3.
Yeah. You know?
It's definitely a very welcome addition. Not really a whole lot more to say on the subject. Looking at the image, it doesn't look like there's any sort of neat customizable settings.
Yeah, it's very, very simple.
Vehicles, for instance. I don't know. Infinite ammo.
Yeah. Yep. Again, hopefully it's something they improve upon. But the one for me that I am excited about, as soon as I saw this, I was pretty happy. 6v6 playlist is making a comeback to Destiny 2, in addition to the current 4v4 game modes. Thank God I missed 6v6. Holy shit. I'm so happy about that.
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
Man. You know, they Bungie, you know, went off, you know, playing with your friends and whatnot. You know, that was, you know, one of the motivators to play. But when Destiny 2 came out, they kind of split my fire team. 2 people got left behind from playing in the Crucible with us, so I'm glad that 6v6 is coming back. I'm pretty excited about that. Mayhem is officially now an event. Little bummed out about that. It's going to be returning.
I would have liked to see it return apart from limited time events.
Yeah. I think so too. Mayhem was probably the most fun that I've had in the Crucible in a long time. So I hope that Mayhem is, you know, allowed in private matches. But I really, really, really liked the feeling of, you know, pure chaos again in the Crucible, and it's a bummer that it's going to be coming back during season 3 and going forward as an event. But again. I'm
keeping my fingers crossed here for some 6v6 mayhem.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, dude. Although they're gonna have to, you know, be adding some substantial maps in terms of like the size.
Absolutely.
For 6v6, because I mean maps like Vostok, that one's relatively smallish. As well as what's another smallish map?
Javelin 4.
Yeah. Oh man, that'll be hectic as hell with a 6v6.
Oh yes. Everyone fighting over the power ammo, which every single spot seems to be located in some small little room.
Yeah. All right, so let's see here. So these are our additional highlights. Moving on forward. So we got weapon and ability balance, sandbox adjustments based on player feedback and data from the live game. The sandbox team will share specific changes as we lead up to season 3. Exotic weapon and armor balances, which is cool. Seasonal reputation. Specific vendors will now display a seasonal ranking. Earning reputation will unlock, unique seasonal rewards and will reset each season.
Assuming you're referring just to the Iron Banner and Faction Wars, but
True.
We'll see.
Yeah, true. Well, the next one that they come up on is improved Iron Banner and faction rallies. In addition to the changes that you will see when Iron Banner and faction rallies return this month, we will continue iterating on these to make them unique, exciting experiences that you all look forward to. I think with faction rally specifically, maybe Iron Banner. I mean, we're getting ornaments for the armor, but at some point we're gonna need to start seeing different like thematic gear. Because I mean, we've had 2 Iron Banners already.
Speak for yourself. I have had one.
Well, as a whole, I think we've seen 2 Iron Banners.
I believe so.
I think so as well. Yeah. And now they're bringing the ornaments with the Iron Banner that's coming up, and then ornaments for faction rallies are coming up as well. I'm hoping we'll see different types of ornamentations or different types of gear with each season moving forward. But we'll see how that plays out.
I'm always down for more models.
Variety. Here's a pretty big one. End game player pursuits. We agree with your feedback on the imbalance between achievement and bright engram rewards. We'll be making adjustments to shift more rewards into specific in-game pursuits instead of generic XP grinding for bright engrams. We're excited to share the details as soon as we have them worked out. And I think that that ties in with how you mentioned the gray pigeon is in Eververse, and the ship in Despair.
Like Core's Resolve.
That should be like a meditation reward.
Absolutely.
That should be a meditation reward. Like, complete God knows how many heroic meditations. That was my phone. And then you get like her ship, like Bungie. We love you.
I mean, we're supposed to be friends. Why is she making me buy her ship from someone else?
Right. Multi emote. This has been in discussion since multiple emotes came out, like back God knows how long ago. Vault space. They're looking to add an additional 50 slots to the vaults. Adding an exotic accessory tab, which is cool because I'm holding on to stuff that I don't want to dismantle because there's no way of getting it back right now. PC clan chat. In addition to the tower chat that is targeted for February, we're adding a clan chat to the PC version of the game. That'll be good.
That'll be really nice for me and the 2 other people who are currently playing Destiny in my clan to have an additional means of communication.
That would be nice in general, because I know that, for example, on my case, I have people that are in my clan that are in my Discord, but there's people that strictly use the Bungie.net clan chat feature, and I usually don't really check that too often. So I would love to see that in game, even for console too, because for that specific purpose, it would be really good to be able to find people within the clan, just to make sure hey, you want to do a Nightfall? Sure, let's hop on,
Really should never have to be more complicated than that.
Yeah, I agree. But you know what? It has been. Oh, man.
The unfortunate reality.
Yeah. Now, as fall, they actually go up ahead and they talk about even what we're going to see towards fall of 2018, or maybe even sooner.
And I got to give them a lot of credit for this.
Yeah.
Bungie, never been good communicators. But talking about your plans for the future, while also, making it clear that, hey, this is stuff that we're trying to talk about. All of this may change. In the past, we avoided this type of discussion because we didn't want to let players down if that changed. But it's a big move for them.
That was my control.
Rip Nem's control.
That's 2. Where'd my phone go? Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't known Bungie as long as you have, but I from what I have experienced in the last 4 years, I can agree with that, well, like 100%. Like the communication has been great, and I believe Christopher does mention this in the beginning of the update, which I will go back on because that's something I want to reiterate on. But looking at fall 2018, we are looking at item collections and records, weapon slot and archetype improvements, additional Crucible playlists. Looking at Rumble, which is cool. I'm glad Rumble may be coming back. Better
Fingers
clan,
crossed.
yeah, better clan rewards,
Fingers
masterwork
crossed.
exotics.
Fingers crossed.
Dude, if I could get a masterworked tractor cannon, I'd be good. That'd be fun.
I've got my eyes set on that masterwork colony.
Oh my god, yeah.
Grenade spam for days.
Yes. That'd be a lot of fun, dude. Pinnacle weapon and gear improvements. Not exactly sure what that means. Unless they're looking to...
Referring to end game gear, perhaps?
That's a good point. That's a good, probably. Trials of the 9 improvements, shaders and dismantling. The future...
You know what? I'm really glad they mentioned that, because I was very tempted to make a post today. I was saying, Bungie, just because people aren't discussing shaders anymore doesn't mean we've forgotten.
Yeah, and I'm sure they haven't either. I mean, they play their own game. I'm sure they don't have fun when they sit down at the tower and just press square about 80 times.
Ugh.
So I'm sure they're well aware of that. Let's see. Future of guided games and address solo versus fire team matching. So what was that? The playlist back in D1. It was something Wolf, Lone Wolf, or something like that.
I don't even recall.
Yeah, it was something like that. I know it was like matchmaking specifically for like solo players. But yeah, so looking forward to that. Let's see. Let me look back at the beginning to reiterate on what I was talking about. Here we go. So this is the opening note from Christopher Barrett. Hey everyone, at the end of last year I made a promise that I would update you on our plans for Destiny 2. The team has been hard at work and we're ready to share where we are headed. We used to wait and talk about game updates until we were certain we could meet our deadlines and avoid letting players down if we changed our plans. No longer. We're not just listening, we are doing. Please keep in mind that further out we make promises, the more they are subject to change. And then, they go off, and that's where the blog starts. And this is actually that I'm really, 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 really happy that they're doing, because this is something that Digital Extreme does with Warframe. They have like a live stream like twice a week, talking about like their plans for the game. They show you frames ahead of time, from as early as concept art to models, and then once their abilities are working. And it's, they're very clear is that, these things change. Development is very fickle. So I'm really happy to see them take that approach to Destiny, because Destiny is something that, needs to be refreshed every so often, because as we know, when there's no word from the development team, we have moments of like the Thorn meta for like 6 months straight with no end in sight. So yeah, I'm really glad that they're going to be a lot more open with what they're going to be working on.
Same here. And as salty as the Bungie forums can get and the Destiny subreddits, I think if they are able to discuss their plans, like, let's just take the additional vault space, for instance. They've discussed they have plans to add 50 more slots in the vault space. Yeah. The way we have it now is they've already mentioned those plans previously, sort of. They haven't given us specifics, they haven't given us a time frame, but we are looking at increasing vault space opportunity, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But now that they're giving like definitive numbers, I think people are going to be a lot more understanding if they have to be slightly down the line if that doesn't come to fruition.
Exactly.
I think just more communication.
Exactly.
More communication, even if it's bad news, is going to do a lot for your community.
Yeah, and that's something that, again, that's something the community has been asking for a long time. So I'm glad that they're taking that approach as well. Before we move on from here, we're just gonna go ahead and take a quick gander at this week at Bungie. Very short. The meat of what we were looking at was that development update. Faction rallies starts on January 16th and the end on January 23.
I would have liked to have seen it gone on like maybe even an extra week, seeing as how it's already been delayed and how everyone on PC has not had ample opportunity for the faction rally compared to people on console. But that's just me.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's true. You guys did miss out on one or two.
How many have we seen total now?
I think 2.
Yeah, just 2. Yeah, well, we missed one. So.
Yeah, so that's true. An extra week would have been nice, but they probably didn't want to do that, just in case people find another fucking cheese.
True.
I mean, it didn't stop them
from on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
let's do this community.
Yeah, we had the faction rally. I mean, you were able pretty much to get anything you wanted on every faction because of that cheese. So,
assuming you could get the proper gear to drop, still don't have my helmet, even though I hit rank 200, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for this time, Future War Cult. I do like how all of the faction rewards for whichever faction wins this go around. Mm-hmm. If you'll look, you'll notice they are all auto rifles.
That's true.
Future War Cult has an auto rifle, New Monarchy has an auto rifle, and Dead Orbit has an auto rifle. And I think because in previous faction rallies, you've had one group with a hand cannon. It's like, okay. One group with a sword, which didn't seem to drop as much as other weapons when the very first faction rally was a thing. Mm-hmm. And another faction had a sidearm. So it's like, who in your right mind would pass up a sword for a sidearm?
Yeah.
And now that they're all the same weapon type, whether they will be the same weapon archetype remains to be seen. But I think it will move things a little closer to people picking the faction they want to support, rather than get the faction item they want to win.
And I mean, just judging off the weapon models, the Future War Cult auto rifle that looks to be a a forward path or origin story archetype. I don't have a lot of experience with the Hake auto rifles. I know these guys tend to shoot some of them shoot a little bit slower, and they pack a bigger punch.
Definitely hard hitting. The Skyflock is Hawk, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it?
I believe so.
Huh.
Could very well be mistaken.
And the Vice auto rifles, we know for sure those guys tend to be like a bullet spitter. They're usually a rapid rate of fire auto rifle, so
high rate of fire, very low impact.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else did they talk about this week at Bungie?
I think that's about it. I mean, we're having
hotfix coming up to prep for the faction rallies.
Yeah, so Destiny.
Here's hoping they fix that Ikora glitch.
Oh, right.
like every time I go to the tower, it's like, oh, Ikora has something for me. I get halfway there before I remember this is the 5th time I've done this today.
True. Yeah, so it looks like we're getting server maintenance is scheduled to begin at 8 a.m. on January 16th.
Who's even awake that early?
Hardcore players are, man. Let's see. And by noon, it looks like the servers will come back online. So that's when the maintenance should end.
I expect the next faction rally cheese to be all over the Destiny subreddit by 12:05 then.
100%. But all right, I think that about covers everything that needed to be talked about. I'm glad that they went into some hardcore detail about the development of D2. And what is that hunter armor that guy's wearing? I don't recognize that.
Yeah, I was looking at it too.
Like,
the
I know
leg
helmet,
pieces.
the helmet is Io. I don't recognize that cloak and those gauntlets and those boots. I don't know what they're. I don't know where
they remind me of one of the Destiny 1 exotic legs for Titans.
Wait, those could be the Stompies.
I don't think I even have the Stompies yet. I don't think I have any reason for the Stompies. Yeah, just based on the color and the overall shape of them, they remind me a lot of the Peregrine Greaves for Titans back in Destiny 1.
Yeah, like the color scheme at least. But yeah, I'm having a hard time trying to see those gauntlets or put them with a set. But I can kind of see like the little like metal areas that the Stompies have, and that might be it, but the rest of the gear does not look familiar to me.
Yeah, it looks like the Stompies for sure now that you mention it.
Yeah. But all right, that's where we're gonna head and cut it. Thank you for discussing it. It's always good to have somebody else's input on these things.
Always a pleasure to be here.
So yeah, we'll see you guys hopefully on the next video whenever there's another thing to talk about. Later, everybody.